What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shooky from Shook Earth Media, and today we are talking about Game of Thrones. And Peter Dinklage, he came out in a new interview. He made a little a little silly goose gumdrops. He's a silly boy. I like the actor. He's amazing as Tyrion. And there's a new musical coming out that actually with him in it. I thought the trailer looked really good, so I'm probably gonna check it out. So there's nothing personal. I just want to look into what he said here, and I just wanted to say why I firmly disagree. Okay, Peter Dinklage says Game of Thrones fans were upset about the finale because they wanted the pretty white people to ride off into the sunset. I hate this response so much. I understand defending your work. It was a huge part of his life. It is the reason why he's so famous now, is because people really like the character on the show. But I will say the biggest disappointment in the past 20 years of pop culture, other than Star Wars kind of sucking now, is that Game of Thrones ending was so bad. It was not at all satisfying. I think it's universally fairly agreed upon that people didn't really care for the ending. It had nothing to do with pretty white people or whatever the fuck he's saying. There's nothing racial about it. I don't know why he brought that up. Also, pretty much everybody in every TV show is pretty, so but what he's saying, the substance of what he's saying is that it was not happy enough of an ending. That was not at all what people were saying. I think, from what I hear, a lot of the arguments was that they played it way too safe. They, in the big battle episode, the winter battle, nobody died. Like, nobody. I don't even remember. The little girl died. She's like the one. Dude, I thought 75% of the cast was going to die, and like nobody died. Everybody had this plot armor. It happened in the last 2 seasons of the show. You had Jaime Lannister in this big battle scene at the end of season 7. Just complete plot armor. He's not going to die until they just kind of wrote him off in a very unsatisfying way. It wasn't that it was sad or anything, okay? If anything, it was too safe, okay? Really, not that many major characters died that we really liked, okay? Your character, Peter Dinklage, did not die. In fact, your ending was perfectly fine. You made the new king happen, which was supposed to be this feel-good story about Bran, but Bran was just such a wasted character. It was because all of these things that have been set up for so long didn't really get used at all. Bran being the Raven didn't really tie into the ending at all. Arya spending so many years of the show getting into this faceless men group, that didn't tie into the ending at all either. There's so many things that were set up over these years that didn't pay off at all. The last 3 years of your character, Tyrion Lannister, set up as this. He's a genius, conniving, great at coming up with schemes. He's a very interesting guy. He spent the last 3 seasons failing at absolutely everything. And, not that he can't fail at things, it just, like, the whole point of his character was kind of completely removed. It stopped being interesting after a certain point when he just fails at absolutely everything. It had the only character that we cared about that didn't really have a happy ending, well, Dany, I guess, but like she ended up being the villain at the end, which wasn't really properly set up either. I mean, I don't have an issue with that storyline at all. It just wasn't properly executed. But the only one who had a bad ending was Jon Snow getting exiled to the Wall again and not becoming the king that we all wanted him to be. I understand not making him the king, but he was essentially useless in that last season. So it had nothing to do with, if anything, it played it too safe. I mean, we had Sansa as the queen in the north. It was just trying to give too many wins to too many characters at the end. If anything. So it's the complete opposite of what he's saying. Okay, and then he says fans should move on from the Game of Thrones finale. We already have, dude. We're watching The Witcher, bro. We're not thinking about Game of Thrones anymore. Game of Thrones is not on anybody's mind. It went from being one of the hottest properties in the entire media landscape to nobody gives a shit. In 6 episode season, Nobody gives a shit about it anymore. And it really is a huge shame. I can't even find myself recommending the show to people anymore. As much as I love seasons 1 through 6, one of the best shows ever made. But the ending, the fact that it doesn't have that payoff at the end, it makes it hard to recommend to people. So, Peter Dinklage said he didn't know why people were so obsessed with who would eventually take the throne. Bro, it's literally in the fucking name. It's literally called Game of Thrones. Literally, the whole fucking point of the war in season 2 was about the fucking throne, dude. It's the whole goddamn show is about who's gonna backstab who. Who's, like, what's the power struggle gonna, what's it gonna be? That's the whole fucking point of the show. Dude. It's literally the whole point of the show. And they set it up to be, you don't find out until the finale who it actually is. Of course, that's what people wanted to know. That is the leading narrative question. Who's gonna take the throne? Right? They wanted the pretty white people to ride off into the sunset together. Most of us wanted everybody to die, bro. Like, dude, that's the show that we were set up to expect at that point. And they didn't do that because we were set up to expect everyone to die, so they didn't give us that to subvert our expectations. But I get subverting expectations, but we expect the show to be brutal. We expect the show to kill off our favorite characters on a whim like that. Like, that's like what made the show appealing. And this really is very triggering to me. I'm triggered. I'm very triggered. By the way, it's fiction, he added with a laugh. There's dragons in it. Move on. Trying to downplay the cultural importance of movies and television, it's like you're undercutting your entire fucking career. What are you doing? I know the argument, it's just a show. If you didn't like it, sorry to hear that, but, you know, hopefully there's something else out there that you like. That's fine, but just the meaning of stories and literature, when, like, stories and literature is what makes us human, okay? Of course, it's not gonna save anybody's life, but, or, like, it's not, you know, it's not a needed thing. It is a luxury item. But we live for this kind of stuff. We love storytelling. We love it. It also informs so much about how we live our lives. You know, it's storytelling is so important throughout history. This could be its own video that we should do, but trying to deride it and say it's not important, it's really not gonna play well. Okay, it's not. I really don't like it. The show subverts what you think. That's what we love about it. And what we didn't love about the last season is it felt too easy, too predictable, I'm repeating myself at this point. Saying Dinklage said one of his favorite moments was when the dragon burned the throne, which is something we all predicted. At least I did. It was so obvious that was going to happen. But then we find out who ends up on the throne anyway. It's just a purely symbolic thing that meant absolutely nothing. It didn't even make sense. Like, why did the dragon do that? I don't even understand it. I understand it from a symbolic point of view. It just killed that whole conversation. Oh, you mean the thing that, like, kept people tuning in? What? Shut up, it's not about that, about who gets on the throne. Well, maybe you should have named the show something different then. Of course it's about so much more than that. Nobody was confused about that, dude. We're just curious to see, we just want to know what's gonna happen. Okay? Oh my god. They were angry at us for breaking up with them. No, we just weren't satisfied with the ending. We wanted an epic conclusion that tied up all the loose ends, that felt complete, that gave the series the bookend it deserves. It felt rushed. It felt so rushed. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm really not that mad about it. I've moved on. I do other things. You're the one bringing it up. Clearly, it matters to you more than it matters to the fans. Like, I watched every episode of the show. I'm tempted to rewatch it at some points, but then I remember how it ended, and I don't. Okay, so I don't even know what you're trying to say, bro. Yeah, and then he says things that the show did well, like villains became heroes, heroes became villains. I think the point of the show is that they're really, those two categories don't really exist, but you know, I don't know. What do I know? I wasn't on the show. So yeah, anyways, I understand wanting to defend your life's work. I'm not even mad at him for saying a lot of these things. I don't really care. You know, I'm still gonna watch his movies. I still like the guy as an actor. You know, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what Hollywood celebrities say in the media. It doesn't matter to me, other than just to look at and point and laugh at, and that's what I'm doing here. So I thought this was very silly. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is Peter Dinklage a silly goose golly goofy boy like I think he is? But yeah, you guys could let me know what you think in the comments down below, if you agree with him or not, or what do you think of the end of Game of Thrones, whatever. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Hit that like button if you like this video, sub for more videos, and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.